Hello everybody and welcome to the Adventurers Guild. Today we are going to be playing Phoenix Tales, a game that I developed and created and is available on Steam and itch.io. So let's jump right into it. We're going to play the first maybe 10 or 15 minutes and we'll go from there. So here it is, the introductory splash screen. Welcome to Phoenix Tales version 1.0. So you start the game and it says welcome, and the game is played entirely with your mouse. Right click and left click to cycle through different actions like walk, look, talk, interact. This is very much an old school point and click style game. If you're familiar with Sierra games or LucasArts games of the 1990s, you'll be right at home here. So I'm also going to do some really bad acting to read the dialogue as we go. So here we go. After an exhausting week-long trek through the countryside, you arrive at the gates of Northern Cross. It's a small town nestled in the woods on the banks of the Red Wind River. The town is a common stop for merchants, vagabonds, and various other walks of life on their way north to the capital. You're on your way to the capital to look for work and earn an honest living. You've never been this far north, and it makes you nervous. It's cold here, and you swear you heard screams far in the distance last night after you made camp. So here we are at the gates of Northern Cross. This is the main character, Connor. He can walk, look, interact, talk. You have a status screen, which shows your hit points, how much attack power you have, how much defense you have, the current weapon you have equipped, the current armor you have equipped, your hit points, your level, and how long until you level. And you can also click this little button to see all of Connor's attacks. So everybody has a stamina gauge, so he has a regular attack, a bolstering call, which increases defense and gives you a little bit of a heal. Hero's Fury is kind of like an automatic crit, sort of like a super attack. It uses all of your stamina plus a whole nother bar. And then you have shield, like your shield block, which makes the next attack against you take half damage. Alright, and you have an inventory. So right now we only have a shield, a sword, some money. We have 5 gold, a water skin that you can heal with out of combat, and some health potions. So let's go ahead and go into town. Here's Northern Cross. It's not a big town, but there's some stuff going on. There's a gambler right here. This guy you can talk to and gamble with. This is a merchant. His name's Fenwick. There's an inn. There is a cobbler shop. There's a smithy who's closed right now when you find out in the story why. And there's a little boy over here playing with something in his hand. So let's start things off and we'll talk to Fenwick. And when you talk to people, it gives you chat dialogue screens. So we'll say hi to him. Hail and well met. Hey mate, the name's Fenwick, peddler of fine goods, vagabond extraordinaire. Can I interest you in a magical compass? What's so magical about it? It's one of a kind, guaranteed to be less than accurate. Get yourself lost twice as fast. Want to go north? This puppy will have you going south in no time. I think I'll pass. Again, great acting skills on my part. Where are you from? From is such a specific term. I prefer to ask myself, where am I going? Okay, where are you going? Wherever the winds take me, of course. I'm a nomad, you see. And no, I'm no mad about it. Ha ha! Right. So you can ask them all kinds of different things. You can ask anybody in the game all kinds of different questions, learn about town, different things like that. So like, if you go and talk to this little boy over here. Hello there, little guy. My name's Cairo, and I'm not little, I'm big. I'm sorry, you are big. So he has a little toy. You can ask him about the toy. That toy may or may not be important in the game. So I'm not going to say, but it's probably a spoiler because I kind of already revealed it, but FYI, there you go. So I'm not going to bore everybody by talking to everybody and everything like that, but we can go in the cobbler shop. So there's a couple different buildings you can go in. This is one of them. That guy selling the leather goods looks extraordinarily familiar. That's because he's me. So we're going to go ahead and just go out here for now. Show you guys around a little bit more. Let's get ourselves some action, shall we? So this entire game is done in a real-world, captured, full-motion video type of thing, where all of the scenes are real environments in real life. But then I went ahead and I kind of cartooned everything, so everything has that facade over it, where it looks like it could be real, but it could be fake. And then the same thing with the characters. The characters are all live action, captured with camera, and then cartooned. So we'll go ahead and cross this bridge, leave Northern Cross, and then this is the bank of the Redwind River. And this is a fisherman named Philip, and you can talk to him. He tells you all kinds of different cool information. We'll just really quickly ask him about fishing. Anything biting today? Not really. I've got a few bites, but I can't seem to catch much. I don't know whether to blame the bait or my nerves. That's interesting. His nerves. I wonder what's going on. Well, we could ask him about that, ask him about his nerves, and you may just learn some interesting information, perhaps how to progress your quest in the beginning. Oh, which actually brings up a good point. In addition, on the top, there's a quest log. So in case you ever get stuck in the game, the quest log will remind you what you have to do next. So we haven't done anything in the game yet. So the first step is, you've stopped at Northern Cross. While on your way to the capital, you decide a little rest is a good idea. Explore town and maybe have a chat with some townsfolk. So basically, you have to talk to people until you learn that something's going on. In this particular... Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and get the information from this guy. There's 3 different guys that can start the initial quest line. So if you ask him about his nerves, like we just learned a minute ago, you mentioned you were having trouble catching things because of nerves. What's the matter? People are scared, Connor. The townsfolk have heard rumors from travelers and roaming merchants about an attack in a town up north. An attack from what? Goblins? They're too mindless. All they care about is food, but they rarely attack people. No, Connor, I mean vicious, organized attacks. I've even heard stories about people going missing. Just the other day, one of our own, Wolfgang, said he saw some strange human-like creatures wandering in the forest. Sounds like we should be careful. I'm going to ask around to see what I can find out. The best place to start is with the merchant that showed up in town the other day. I think his name is Fenwick. He's an odd fellow, and was visibly shaken when he first arrived. And then your main quest objective has been updated. So now if we go to our quest log, we'll see you have been warned about attacks on other towns. Find Fenwick in Northern Cross to see what information you can gather. So now Fenwick will have a new thing to chat about, and he'll give you more information. The game will progress. But we're not here to give spoilers for the game. We're here to just kind of explore and show everybody what it's like. So there's some woods here, and nope, there is some money on the ground. Interesting. Let's go ahead and take that. So 9 coins were in this bag, so now we have 5 gold, but now we have 14 gold. Sweet, got some money. So over here is another extremely important character to the game, and when you first walk on the screen for the very first time, he says, "Howdy, stranger. I hope you weren't planning on heading west into the forest." So this is the town blacksmith. His name is Wolfgang. He is extremely important to the story, but we are going to skip talking to him for now because we're going to do some combat out here in the woods. So once you go to the left, or I guess the west from this point, there's kind of like a small area where you can get in a fight. So if at the top of the screen, that little green dot means this is a safe area. So if you ever go to an area of the game where the dot is red, it means there could be a random encounter on the screen. So when we're going to go to the left, and there may or may not be a bad guy. If there is, it's totally random, and if not, then there won't be. Okay, so this is a tutorial about what I was just saying about random attacks. So there's no bad guys here to fight, no random encounters, but you notice this is red, so it's possible that somebody could come and attack. So we're going to go ahead and wander this way. And there's nobody here. We're going to go to the left, and this is going to be the edge of the river. So another just edge of the river here. There's some stuff on the ground there, but we're not going to go and interact with that right now because, again, don't want to spoil things. We're going to go back to the right and see if there's a bad guy here. Oh, here we go. Now there's a guy here. So once he reaches you, so when you go on the screen, if someone's walking towards you, if you run away, you'll be able to get away from him. But if you walk towards him and you guys collide, then we go to a combat. So he reached us. It says, "Prepare yourself. The enemy is upon you." So now we're going to go into combat. And you're going to see that there's different meters and different... Let's see if I can pause the game here. I can, yeah. All right, so top right-hand corner of the screen, there's the opponent's enemy information. Basically, it shows the enemy's hit points. how much stamina he currently has. So his stamina gauge, depending on how fast his attack is, like there's slower enemies and faster enemies, his gauge will build up. When it hits 100, then he'll do an attack. Then he has his combat speed and his demeanor. When he's angry, he's just doing regular damage. If his gauge shows as furious, then the next attack against you is going to be a crit. And when that happens, it'll say furious on the demeanor, and there'll be a little skull blinking down at the bottom left next to your shield block option. And on the bottom left, you have the attacks I explained earlier: attack, bolster and call, hero's fury, shield block, and healing potion. So we're going to go ahead and fight him. Now his bar is going to fill. He's going to hit us, you see. So this isn't a turn-based game. It's kind of like a hybrid turn-based, because obviously you can only attack when your meter is full, but it's like a meter-based game. And you see now the skull is blinking, so I'm going to try to block before he hits, which I did. I defended that attack, only took 6 damage instead of 12. So the combat can be as simple or as like strategic as you want it to be. As you get more powerful, of course, you can just burn through enemies pretty quickly without having to worry too much about proper defense, just like in any role-playing game. But if you really kind of sink your teeth into it, there's some meat to the combat system in the game. See, right now I've already lost 60 hit points just fighting this easy guy here. So we're going to kill him. He's dead. Combat's over. I search the body, get 9 coins. We now have 23 gold. And the tutorials told us, congratulations, you've defeated your first enemy. If you check your status screen, you'll notice you've lost health. There are multiple ways to heal in Phoenix Tales, but right now you might want to consider drinking from your water skin. Your water skin, which can be found in your inventory, will restore all your hit points. Be careful though, your water skin only holds a limited amount of water, and it'll have to be refilled often. You can fill it up at any water source. And we have gained enough XP to level. We needed 15 if you remember from the beginning, and I think he was worth 20 XP. So now we're level 2. We get 10 hit points automatically. Now, if you remember, we used to have 100 max hit points. Now we have 110, and it says you've leveled up. So do we want to get more hit points, more attack power, or more defense? For this particular instance, we're going to go ahead and take attack power, and you'll notice that his attack power will go up from 1 to 2. So the attack power and the defense power are a combination of the points you add plus your sword level and your armor level. So his sword is +1, and we just gave a +1 to attack, so now we have +2. Little basic math there for anybody who's interested. And again, there's no bad guys here, so we'll just go ahead and wander to the south and see what's going on down here. Probably nothing. Oh, wait a second. There is something going on. You've stumbled upon a large pack of goblins. They look pretty hungry. You can't fight this many at once. Huh. Uh-oh, what are we going to do? We can't fight them, it just said that, so... Uh-oh, now it's saying something else. One of the goblins notices you. He begins to salivate. So if we keep standing here, the entire group is now staring at you. They look like they could eat all the flesh off your bones. These guys are hungry. Oh no, they're coming after us. So they come towards you. The goblins, starving from hunger, start to come closer. You've decided you've worn out your welcome and quickly escape to the north. So you run away automatically there because there's something that you need to do to get past those goblins. And fighting them is not an option because there's 4 of them and they will quite literally eat the flesh off your bones, as it said. So we're not going to fight them, we're going to run away because it's automatic. And that is about it for the tutorial. Oh, there's another important note. So this is an adventure game, flat out. I mean, at its core, Phoenix Tales is an adventure game. If you don't like combat, technically you can get through the entire game with only doing a handful of fights. There's, I think, 5 that you have to do. But there's other ways to make money. There's other ways to get XP. I'm not going to spoil anything, but there is a couple of interesting ways to make money. Semi-efficient. And there is some ways to make XP. So, for example, like this guy, see how he's fighting against that little training dummy? You can actually train yourself against a training dummy. So you don't actually have to fight anybody, but your guy will train. Takes him maybe 5 seconds to train, and then when he does, you get 10 XP. And you can do that every 5 minutes. So if you're wandering around stuck, not know what to do, going back and forth trying to solve puzzles and stuff, every 5 minutes, if you stop and attack that training dummy, you'll get XP. So it's a decent way to kind of like level up on the side to make yourself stronger without having to worry about managing fighting and things like that. One last thing to note. when we killed that one guy, it said you might want to drink out of your water skin. So healing potions are expensive. They're 25 gold. So you might not want to burn healing potions unless you absolutely have to. Water is free, and water apparently is magic in this game. Well, not really, but it heals you in this particular game. So you have a water skin that you can fill up for free at water sources. So if you take the water skin, it only works out of combat. And you notice we have 40 hit points right now. You drink from the water skin, and it says you can drink from it 2 more times without having to be refilled. So we drank a third of the water from the skin. You'll notice our hit points goes from 40 to 110. So we're at full life. So super important to the game. Oh look, a dagger. Can we take that? We can. Interesting. Would you mind if I took this throwing dagger? Never know when a good small weapon will come in handy. Go ahead. I've got tons of them. Smithing has its advantages. You can take the dagger with you. So this game is not super long. I mean, if you get stuck, you know, there's obviously, you have to figure out the puzzles and whatnot. But if you play through it at a decent clip, and you take your time and you talk to everybody and you do everything that there is to be done, you know, you level up a little bit. And, you know, you get maybe stuck for 5-10 minutes here and there, but not overly long or anything. The game is about 3 to 3.5 hours. It's $5 on Steam and itch.io. And yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys liked this little tutorial of our very first game. It's called Phoenix Tales. And that is about it. So I will talk to you next time in the next video. See you later.